touchdowns will run in against the offense, so the 80 points is really less than that. I do think that young Vince Evans is the perfect quarterback to perhaps throw the computer off, because he does nothing that even Armstrong is surprised sometimes the things he does. That's a good way to come in against the Eagles.
He only threw 8 times last week against Detroit for Chicago. He hit 5 of them. Yep. A couple of bombs. You talked to him before the game.
Well, the main thing was that a year ago he got a staphylococcus infection that settled in his back, and he almost died. He's a great young man out of SC, a 6th-round draft choice, and I think he's just happy to be alive and playing right now.
Well, I hope so, Tom. It's been a very exciting thing for me just to be back out here. I think it's a miracle that I'm here today, because I was in such critical condition last year, and you know, I just was awaiting, as I was trying to get well, just awaiting this time to be back out on the football field and just try to do my thing.
6 career touchdown passes, all over 50 yards, and he'll scramble. He'll give the Eagle defense a lot of containment problems.
You saw that controversial play at the end of the game against Dallas last week.
Yep.
The defender was Roynell Young, the Eagles' #1 draft choice. A lot of people said it was interference, but Roynell Young said no. We asked him before the game how he felt now as the season progresses. Can't be a tougher spot to move into than cornerback. Here's Roynell Young.
It's a typical DB.
Yeah, you know, as the weeks go on and the season progresses, you know, I sort of feel like I'm fitting in the defense and feel more confident with my game and, you know, the position that I'm playing.
As you look back at that last play we were talking about before, when it took place, did you think that there was a chance that it might have been interference?
No, I didn't. I really felt as though, you know, I had a clear shot for the ball, and the decision was up to the referee, and he was right on top to play, you know, and it was a judgment call, so I left it up to the officials to call it, and it went in my favor.
Let's get to the action on the field. The Bears have won the toss. Tony Franklin will kick off for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's kicking into the wind, and he's got to get the ball to the end zone. The kickoff coverage has not been the #1 item that the Eagles like to be proud of. They want to improve that.
The wind is 16 miles an hour. The temperature 47 degrees. It feels a lot cooler than that. Dave Williams brings it back for the Chicago Bears out to about the 24, where they'll take over with Vince Evans as the Bear quarterback. The rest of the backfield, those familiar names of Walter Payton, and the fullback in front of him, that excellent blocker, Roland Harper.
Payton with 3 straight 100-yard games when Roland came back. Scott can fly. He catches the long bomb. Bashnagel can play with anybody. And the converted fullback, Robin Earl, is doing a good job at tight end.
And the offensive line is steady, and they're doing a good job. Albrecht, Jackson Neal, Reeve Sori, and Dennis Link.
Large.
And mobile. First down for the Chicago Bears at the 24. There's big Robin Earl. Number 81 moves to the right side of the line, and here's Harper straight ahead, and a penalty marker down on the very first play. And the indication from the Eagle players is that it must be against Chicago.
Of course, Walter Payton says that having Roland Harper there takes at least one of the linebackers that hounds him off his back. In this case, it might have been somebody jump early. Looks like illegal procedure, doesn't it?
The referee, by the way, is Red Cashin. The umpire, Art Demas.
Illegal motion, moving before the snap. Number 65 on the offense, still first down.
65 is Noah Jackson. A big pair of guards for the Bears, of course. Jackson and Reeve Sori, both over 260.
Neil Armstrong sending in the plays by the tight end, so young Evans can just pull off and squeeze off those long bombs. He only threw 8 times last week.
Bashnagel out wide to the right. James Scott to the left. That is Walter Payton for about 3 and no more than that.
Charlie Johnson in on the tackle. Carl Hairston. Hairston last week against Dallas made 8 solo tackles. Berge, the linebacker, made 9. Number 78 is an incredible scrambler, one of the great effort guys in the league.
Here's the Philadelphia defense. It's a 3-4. Charlie Johnson in the middle. Hairston and Harrison.
Berge in the middle, and with LeMaster. Jerry Robinson, maybe the fastest linebacker in football. And a good secondary with Young, the #1 draft choice, really playing good football.
All right, it's Harper and Payton. Ricky Watts in the game, and Evans with his first pass. Throws outside, almost picked off. Pass interference is going to be called against Roynell Young. Intended for Ricky Watts. Young was a little early.
Evans throws a good pass on this. He does not scramble. Straight drop back. Let's see what kind of pressure on him. None at all. The ball is thrown. Good coverage. Young probably didn't even have to do that. Looked like he hit himself on the helmet as soon as it was over. Here's that defense now.
Interference. Number 22 on the defense. First down.
5 offensive linemen against 3 rushy defensive linemen, and the offense won easily.
The penalty called by Red Cashin was against Bernard Wilson. We thought it was Roynell Young and still think so. So it's 1st and 10 Chicago as Payton cuts inside. Is hit by LeMaster. Wilbert Montgomery over on the sideline, not dressed today. He was at Jackson State at the same time as Walter Payton and then left and went to Abilene Christian.
As a freshman, they were going to start he and Payton in the same backfield. How scary could that be, huh?
Those of you who've been watching New Orleans and Washington and Los Angeles and Atlanta, there's the final score. The Redskins over New Orleans 22-14, and Los Angeles lost to Atlanta 13-10. At Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, it's 2nd and 4. No scores yet. Opening minutes here. That's Roland Harper, and he is sandwiched and slammed around in the middle of that Philadelphia defense.
Somebody jolted him, and the helmet came right off the fullback. Remember, he's coming back from all the injuries of last season, sat out the whole year. Here he cuts back inside. Charlie Johnson gets handled, but Bigfoot Harrison and now Jerry Robinson gets in on the play. Robinson, it runs the 40 in about 4.6. Comes out of UCLA. He was that #1 draft choice that shocked this town by coming in here and playing like gangbusters.
As the season comes to its halfway point, Buffalo has become one of the surprise teams, and today they surprised New England 31-13. That's the final score. 3rd and 2 here in Philadelphia. Bears have the football with Vince Evans, their quarterback. Evans looking for someplace to go, and this is when he can be so very dangerous. He's got the first at the 46-yard line of the Eagles. John Bunting tripped him up.
He looks small, but he carries about 210 pounds. You know, in a 3-piece suit, he looks like just somebody going down to be a lawyer or something. But watch him roll out to the left. He has tremendous confidence in himself, and the reason is he is just a hell of an athlete. Now he reverses back against it, barely does get the first. Good recovery tackle by John Bunting.
And I'll guarantee if they have a distance throwing contest as far as throwing a football is concerned, he'll win.
He threw the one last week 62 yards, and the poor Detroit defender just ran out of legs. He got target fixation and fell.
That victory by Buffalo, by the way, ties him with New England for the lead in the AFC East. Pump fake by Evans, intended for Scott. And the coverage is excellent by Roynell Young, right back there with him.
It was the out and up. It was the short out. I don't think that Scott really broke off a good out because Young turned and started for the corner right away. There was the flag by Vince. Evans unloads it a little beyond the receiver, which is the beautiful place to throw it. Nobody's going to get it out there except maybe your fella.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 as Roland Harper goes out. And Bob Fisher and Robin Earl, 2 tight ends, line up on the Bear alignment.
Boy, he throws a class, doesn't he? And it is a powerful throw, very strong.
He sets up very well, gets away from the center very quickly. 2nd and 10. Ball play to Payton, looking for some place to go, runs into Berge. Like to welcome those of you who watched the resurgent Green Bay Packers beat Minnesota today 16-3 to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier. No score here as yet.
One of the great statistics coming into this nickel defense that the Eagles have under Marion Campbell is that complete on attempted passes against the nickel, they're averaging, opponents are 2 yards a shot. That's how good the nickel defense is on 3rd down.
3rd down now and about 8, we'll call it. Brian Batchnagel, Ricky Watts, Evans scrambling, looking, threw it into a bunch. Ball went up in the air. Looked like the Eagles might have had a chance to pick it off, but sometimes you can't get the motor started when you see it up in the air.
Batchnagel gets caught between Berge and Bunny. The linebackers drop back. Here comes the rush. He doesn't have to worry about too much of a rush. Humphrey get a little bit at him. Hairston chases him. Look at these linebackers coming after the ball. LeMaster had a chance for it.
In among 3. Bunting, Berge, and LeMaster. A linebacker lineup. Bob Parsons back deep for the Bears. Now to kick, standing at his own 34. Good snap. Wally Henry will field it for Philadelphia inside the 5 or at the 5. The mark at the 6. Henry with some room. Slips down. It rained very hard here last night. And this field, of course, is not covered. A penalty marker down back up at the line of scrimmage, however.
Keep in mind now that the Eagle offense has not had a chance to play yet. They almost have to go out and warm up again. So they're going to be a little bit stiff, and I would imagine they're going to come out a little bit tighter. And they don't have Wilbur Montgomery in the backfield, which makes them tighter to begin with.
Just to run down the rest of the officials now, we mentioned that Red Cashin is the referee, Art Demas, the umpire. Norm Trax at the head linesman. The line judge is Tom Dooley, the back judge Ben Tompkins. Nate Jones, the side judge, and the field judge Bill Kingson.
Holding, number 21 after the kick, be first down.
That's from the point of foul is the reason they marked it down.
Right.
It was from the point of the holding.
The penalty flag was way up at the line of scrimmage, but the point of the foul was down there.
Keep in mind, boy, these Bears have...
Back is Leroy Harris.
Carmichael, of course, he's the tower of strength, one of the great receivers. Charlie Smith, very underrated, and Krepley might be as slick a tight end as there is around.
And the offensive line, which has done such an excellent job protecting Jaworski, Walters, and Sizemore the tackles, Perot and Peoples the guards, and Guy Morris the center.
How about poor Perot? He has Randy White one week, and now Alan Page the next. He may age 10 years right before our eyes.
He was young when the year started. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 3-yard line as Carmichael and Krepley jog around to try to stay loose. I don't know really what the holdup is. They're going to blame us, but it's not us.
Main thing, the Eagles must still run the football a lot. They can't go to Jaworski all the time, even though Montgomery's not in there. They've got to move the football.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 3. 10 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in the first quarter. No score. The Eagles' first possession. Giamona and Harris behind Jaworski, and now Giamona moves up on the wing to the left. Jaworski to Harris. Missed the handoff, had to keep it himself, and got 2 or 3. Tom Hicks, the first Bear to hit him on the defense.
Harris looked like he was sort of hydroplaning. It looked like his feet slipped, and he went right by the handoff, sort of under it, and number 7 had to run with it. This was not the intended idea. You see how he goes through there? In fact, Jaworski was lucky to get the ball back.
Lucky to keep possession of it, even after he got it back, after all that slipping and sliding.
And that Bear defense is tough against the rush, too. They are rough.
There is Perot, the man we were talking about a minute ago, number 62, with Alan Page just across the line from him. Giamona to about the 8. Alan Page made the tackle. First man to hit him.
And Alan Page is weighing about 220 pounds. And they say he's so quick that he turns sideways, and the guards block him, almost helping him get back into the play because he gets that little penetration, and the guy's blocking on his back and putting him right into the defense.
It's got to be a new tactic, turning sideways. Here's the front 4, Hampton, Osborne, Page, and Mike Hartenstein, the linebacking group.
Hockenstern, Hicks is back healthy at middle, and Campbell, of course, is the free linebacker.
Schmidt and Ellis on the corners. Fensick and Plank, the safety man. Secondary. Jaworski has his receiver. It was Billy Camfield who caught that big one in the playoff game last year against Chicago, the intended receiver.
Gary Fensick was right there. It's probably a good thing the ball was whistled. Now, it looks like Ron Jaworski really loads this up. Again, we don't know how the winds are down on the field. It slides a little bit, and Fensick was right on top of it. He's only in his 2nd year, Max Runninger.
Out of South Carolina. Does not kick for the good long distance, but keeps it very high, and the coverage is excellent. In fact, only one team in the NFL is better at punt coverage than Philadelphia. That's Atlanta. They upset Los Angeles today. Long count. Runninger takes his time and took a good look and doesn't hit it very well. Again, the Bears slipped down. Lenny Walterscheid was supposed to be back to run it back. It takes an eagle bounce, and the Bears will take over at their own 42. Ray Phillips downed it. 49-yard punt that didn't look like much to begin with, but it's the result that counts.
Chicago is very much alive.
No score. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience.
Out of sight.
Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. Giant final score. They haven't won since opening day. They're 1-7 now. Denver, 14-9. Denver stays in the race. Walter Payton tries to get the race started here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and Randy Logan hits him first.
I was talking to defensive players, John Bunning and Berge, and they said there is nobody like Walter Payton. Once he sees that it's closed in, 202 pounds, he puts it away, and he delivers more than he takes. He is the most incredibly durable athlete I think I've ever seen. He is not that fast.
I think you put your finger on the key to his durability right there. He delivers more than he takes. 2nd and 8. Then Evans gets to Roland Harper. Harper swings out close to midfield, about a 5-yard pickup. Frank LeMaster led the Eagle charge.
Remember that 6 of 7 opponents the Eagles have faced, and this is what Vince Evans is thinking about, have held the rushing game of the opposition to under 100 yards. They allow about 89 yards a game. But that one game was Mr. Anderson with St. Louis, and he had 155, and Walter Payton is certainly capable of that.
It'll be 3rd and 3. Third down conversion so far in this 1980 season as we get to the halfway point. Robin Earl on the flank to the right. Roland Harper on the flank to the left. Vince Evans on the sprint out left. Looking and throwing. Bob Fisher, the backup tight end for the Bears, who they think is going to be an excellent player in this league, makes the reception. Frank LeMaster made the tackle.
A double tight end slot. I don't know if I've seen that. Armstrong's got a good idea. The little semi-roll by the good athlete Evans. LeMaster was just trailing. He knew who he had to cover. He just didn't quite get there. And Fisher makes a heck of a good catch. Evans'
first completion. At the 35-yard line of Philadelphia, the Bears have it 1st and 10. No scores yet. 7:20 left in the first quarter. Robin Earl comes in motion. Number 81 stops. Comes back to block as Walter Payton gets about 3 yards to the outside to the left.
Amazing. The limp leg. He just stepped, got up one thigh guard on the shoulder pad, and then moved outside and made yardage out of a completely broken down play.
Payton has an injured toe. It doesn't look like it's affecting him too much so far. You see Bashnagel check out and Ricky Watts come in. Give the play to Vince Evans.
Got to be careful now. It might be a good play to throw on. I wonder if the Eagles will blitz a little bit today. They don't put a lot of pressure on the passer unless they do.
It'll be 2nd and 7. 3-man front for Philadelphia. Those 4 good linebackers behind that front. Evans looks quickly. As Ricky Watts across the middle, down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Carl Hairston made the tackle. Not enough for a first.
And a pretty good little soft throw by Evans. Again, on 2nd down and long. Good time to do it. Not a big rush. No blitzers coming. Hairston trying to get in there. Just drops it to a very dangerous receiver. Then Berge and Carl Hairston from the defensive end spot buries him.
Just smothered him. Number 78 is huge. There's Neil Armstrong, who was a fine pass receiver in his active playing days as well.
With the Eagles.
On 3rd down, Evans again sprints left and throws. Sidearm intended for Earl. Penalty marker down. It'll be interference, I believe, against the Eagles. They got their feet tangled up. Bernard Wilson.
They may call Bernard Wilson for it. Actually, LeMaster, number 55, made a good play on this. Sprint out left. Very few quarterbacks can throw this one. Look at that. He dropped that down. Looked to me like Bernard was making contact with the tight end Robin Earl, and then LeMaster didn't even realize he had the help of the safety man.
A good lead block by Roland Harper,
Pass
too.
interference by the defense, number 22, 1st down.
On Bernard Wilson. It'll be a 1st down, Chicago Bears at the 17-yard line of Philadelphia.
Think the officials are watching the Eagles secondary a little bit this week? Oh, wow.
Payton strolls over to his assigned position. Evans gets to Harper. Harper down to about the 15. That swarming Eagle defense led by Bill Berge take him down there.
Remember this defense. Now you're looking at the defense right now, the total. This defense has held people to 11 points a game in 7 games. And 2 of those touchdowns were scored on the offense. They hustle, they gang tackle, they're physical, and they are really sort of a belligerent group.
They were very, very belligerent and impressive last week against Dallas, as the Cowboys had scored 59 points the week before against San Francisco and came in here and the offense could only get a field goal. 1 and 2. The Eagles number 1, the Bears number 2 on 2nd and 8. Vince Evans decides, I'd like to talk this over, and the Bears use their first timeout. So with 5:01 left first quarter, it's still the Eagles. It's to Payton. By Jerry Robinson.
Great play by Jerry Robinson, number 56. He just stacked up the whole play. That time he decided to pull everybody. Here's the play. And give the ball to the greatest of all running backs, Walter Payton. Watch number 56 to the left of your screen. Weighed about 209 pounds, and I mean to tell you, he can run with Walter.
Pittsburgh Steelers lost for the 3rd consecutive week, if you can believe that. In a thriller, the Cleveland Browns 27, Pittsburgh 26.
Puts Cleveland on top in the division, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Cleveland's record 5-3. Pittsburgh goes to 4-4. We'll check on what happens to Houston. Evans straight back, no scores yet. In the end zone, intended for James Scott, batted away by Herman Edwards.
What a play by Herm Edwards. Looked like Scott had him by about a yard when the ball was cut loose. It was thrown extremely well. This is just one of those matchups where it's so close you could hear the crowd inhale, like 70,000 of them. Watch this play.
Oh, what a play.
What a play.
Enter Bob Thomas for the Chicago Bears. He has hit 9 out of 11 on the year. Up goes the screen and back of the goalpost. Bob Thomas. No good. He pulled it left.
Was out early trying to check out the wind currents. He was confused, but it looked to me like he just hooked this one, didn't he?
He did. Watch it hook. Too bad it wasn't a dog leg to the left. Nothing. So with that victory, Denver improves its record to 4-4. The Giants are 1-7.
Bears are looking for a turnover right here. They've got a defense that'll squeeze you hard. They're looking for the fumble.
It is 1st and 10 for the 20, from the 20 for Philadelphia. They have Giamona and Harris in the backfield. Jaworski looking for Carmichael. Trying to come down the sideline, trying to take it deep. Jaworski trying to lay it high for him. Alan Ellis on the coverage.
I thought Jaworski threw that with a very tentative air. He didn't even act like the play was going to be a good play. Watch this. They had trouble getting into the eye for one thing. Now watch this throw. It's almost like I'll throw it, but I'm not sure. Somebody's hands came up very quickly on Jaworski. In the box is Harold Carmichael, and you know who was coming across to take a shot at him? Mr. Doug Plank.
Keep in mind that Carmichael, if he makes a reception today, would I have very little doubt about, he will add to his NFL record, which is now at 119 consecutive games in which he has caught a pass. Jaworski's going to throw it again. And there is number 120 for Harold Carmichael. Otis Wilson is number 55. Gary Fensick helped out on the tackle on Carmichael.
What a catch by Carmichael. This was in traffic, and I don't think he realized he caught it until it was settled in. This has been the hardest ball for Harold to catch because he gets it near his body. He likes to keep it out in those big hands. This was some effort in between the linebackers and in with a pack of Bears.
As amazing as that streak is, one of the most amazing things about it is the fact that he's been able to play that many consecutive games.
And he's able to start most of them, too. I don't think he's been anything but a starter for most of those games.
First and 10, the Eagles. They get some breathing room, and it's thrown back to Giamona, who starts to throw the option pass, but keeps it. Giamona at midfield. Ball goes out of bounds, but it was dead. Mike Hartenstein knocked him out of bounds. Giamona looking to throw the option pass.
And Hartenstein comes all the way from defensive right in to make this tackle. Actually, they thought he was going to throw it. Giamona is 174 pounds, folks, out of Utah State. And even if your coach is the uncle, he doesn't help you make these plays. You got to do these on your own. There's Hartenstein. Woo.
A 14-yard pickup by Giamona. Carmichael comes out wide to the left, and Charlie Smith to the right. Both those wide receivers had touchdown passes last week. Jaworski on the draw, fake draw to Harris, and now to throw down the middle. Intended for Keith Prepway. Incomplete. Thrown perhaps a little bit too hard.
And you know, the defensive Bears are doing a pretty good thing. Watch this fake to Harris. Hartenstein and company go ahead and tackle the back. They're not going to let anybody get out of there. See this tackle? They're not going to let any back slip through the line of scrimmage the way Campfield did a year ago in the playoff game.
Let's rip down some scores quickly. St. Louis 17-3 over Baltimore in the fourth. Detroit, Kansas City, 0-0 second. Cincinnati over Houston, 3-0 in the first.
Wow.
And Oakland 3, Seattle 0 in the first.
Raiders look tough.
0-0 here with 3:38 left to play in the first quarter. Here's Jaworski again. This time the protection is good. And so is the pass. Carmichael cradles it on the sideline.
Terry Schmidt, the young cornerback, has good coverage. Watch the stunning by the Bears on defense. They try to loop and come up the middle. It's well handled by the offensive line for the Eagles. The ball is thrown. Boy, that is a close reception. In that little box, you see Harold Carmichael at 6'8", getting down to about 4 feet. Tough catch.
14-yard pickup on the completion from Jaws to Harrell. First and 10 to 36. Giamona. Big hole right up the middle. Tom Hicks, the linebacker, made the tackle for Chicago, but the Eagles are on the move.
Clever running. Watch Guy Morris, the center now. He's right in front of Hicks, number 54. You're right in the Bears secondary. Good block by Woody Peoples. Overruns. Osborne gets caught inside and buried by Sizemore, and that little back from Utah State just went off the trap block beautifully. Good play.
Good block on Page, too, by Perreault. Both the offensive guards performed very well, and so did the center. Here is Leroy Harris banging straight ahead for a Philadelphia Eagle first down inside the 25. Tom Hicks, again the tackler.
Once in a while, it's a good thing to do. Run at Mr. Page, because he is so quick, and he's doing so many different things on his own that sometimes you can run straight at him.
That's always been the philosophy. Let's bring you up to date now on the final score. Not a final score, this isn't, but in the first quarter, Tampa Bay 7, San Francisco 7. And that takes care of our final swing around the league for a while.
This Chicago defense held Billy Sims to 50-some-odd yards rushing last week. They're good.
They go from the 23-yard line now on a first down. The Eagles have Jaworski looking and throwing and hitting Charlie Smith at the 5, down to the 4, fighting to get into the end zone. They may have ruled that he was down before he slapped the goal line with a football, and that's what they do. What an effort. Watch this again.
What an effort. Again, when Jaworski gets into real trouble, he knows he can throw the ball very hard, and Charlie Smith will come out with it. Schmidt's right there. Look at this effort by homeboy Smith. His knees were on the deck, I think, a little earlier than that. I think it's a good call by the official. He was down. What an effort. He makes a catch against Dallas last week between people. That ball really had mustard on it, too.
22-yard pickup, first and goal, Philadelphia. No scores yet, but that's about to be over. Not this time. Leroy Harris is met by Hicks and a flock of white jerseys from the Bears.
Remember, the coach from upstairs sends in these offensive plays, and he must be trying to get his nephew killed. I can't believe Giamona getting a call at 175 pounds on the goal line. Look at Louis.
Something must have happened to his helmet.
Gotta go talk to his uncle.
Or perhaps to his head.
What do you have against your sister? He's a tough little egg, this guy.
Billy Campfield took his place, number 37. The Liberty Bells with something to cheer about at the moment. Harris and Campfield now. That's Billy Campfield. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage. He got tripped up behind the line by Doug Plank.
Keep in mind that Tony Franklin has not been kicking like he normally does. He's not having the great percentage. You don't want to settle for a field goal when you think you've almost scored on Homeboy's great effort. Great defensive play. I believe that was Doug Plank that came up and wrapped it.
John Spagnola comes in. The Eagles back up tight. Why do they call him Homeboy?
I don't know. I think his mother just said, "Come on, Homeboy."
And he must have minded. 3rd and 2 after 2. Jaworski in a rollout spot right here. Throws out to Campfield. Touchdown, but a penalty marker down. Penalty marker down. It might be an illegal pick.
I believe it might either be a pick or that Carmichael got tangled up with Schmidt. I think Carmichael says he won this one.
He says touchdown. Carmichael has already left the field. Touchdown pass from Jaworski to Campfield.
Holding by the defense, number 44. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
You might recall that a year ago, Campfield scored a touchdown on what we thought was a pick play at that time. Carmichael somehow got tangled up inside. And of course, if he just puts his arms out, he cuts off the whole secondary.
He got tangled up with Terry Schmidt that time. That's who they called for the violation. So it's 6-0 Eagles on the touchdown pass from Jaworski to Campfield.
His 15th of the year.
John Shira, number 21, who played for Dick Vermeil at UCLA, will hold for Tony Franklin.
One bad snap last week. Remember the first field goal attempt? And that is a wet, soggy place.
80 yards the Eagles went for that touchdown. It puts them ahead. The extra point by Franklin is perfect. And so with 6:55 left in the first quarter, I think that must be an error. Here's the touchdown.
Out of the backfield, Billy Campfield.
7-0. 7-0 Philadelphia. Down at the lower right-hand corner is the deep man for the Bears, Dave Williams, number 22, and Tony Franklin with that barefoot kickoff. Line drive. Will be handled by number 26, Matsui. Matsui stays on his feet out to about the 35, 38-yard line, call it.
It's a pretty good guy to get a short kick. A stubby fullback out of Penn State. He's got legs like tree trunks anyway.
Barry Harrington on the tackle. Here's that knuckle kick by Franklin, who's had some problems with his kickoffs.
You think he did that on purpose? Because they like to try. Styles, the special teams coach, said they're trying for a 4-second hang time on kickoffs.
They didn't get it. First down, Bears at their own 39. And that clock was incorrect, by the way, if you're confused by what you're seeing. That was the end of the first quarter. The touchdown play to Campfield. Here's Payton.
Misdirection play, and LeMaster sewed it up in the middle there. Boy, they are tough to run against.
A meeting on the sideline with the offensive unit. 76, of course, is Jerry Sizemore.
That's Kenny Iman down there with the headset on, the great player with the Rams for years.
And before that with the Packers.
That's big Stan Walters right there. Big tackle.
Big is correct. 6'6", 275 is Walters. 14-10 left in the first half as Earl goes in motion and Payton cuts behind the blocking on the right-hand side. Charlie Johnson, the nose guard, came over to make the tackle, or be the first man in green to get there.
That's a good matchup at right tackle and defensive left end. That's Bigfoot Harrison at 280 against Dennis Lick, who is one of the larger offensive right tackles in football, and a good one. We'll watch that spot a little bit. That's got to be a war. Bigfoot's coming out now so they can get some kind of a pass rush on third down.
Ken Clark comes in place of Johnson. Claude Humphrey is the left defensive end now. As the Eagles stay with the 3 men, but they got their pass rushers in there up front. It'll be third down as Evans drops. Pass across the middle. The intended receiver was Roland Harper, and he was waffled by Bill Berge.
Berge had a free one. That's what the linebackers call it. Against this nickel defense, I told you, 2 yards an attempt is what they're averaging. Berge sees the ball goes by, but he drives him almost into the official from the backside.
Not much you can do about that after you start your movement, is there? Especially not unless you don't want to.
Especially if you can work for Darby's Rangers.
Wally Henry back deep for Philadelphia, and Bob Parsons, the Bear kicker. It's a high snap, brings it down, lays it off the right-hand side of his foot. Bear coverage, penalty marker down as Wally Henry let the coverage go by and gathered it in. 39-yard punt by Parsons. A penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage.
Talk about courage. How would you like to weigh 175 pounds the way Wally Henry does and watch all those big trains going by you at about 50 miles an hour?
I wouldn't like it at all. In fact, I wouldn't do it.
There he is, played at UCLA under Coach Vermeil.
Illegally down the field. Number 53 of the kickers. Penalty is declined. It will be first down.
Can barely find Wally Henry in the middle of that group over on the sideline. But he is fearless. The Eagles lead 7-0. Second quarter. With Tom Brookshier at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, you look at Dick Vermeil right in the middle. This is Pat Summerall. First down. The Eagles lead it 7-0. It's their ball at their own 26. Long count. This is fullback Leroy Harris. He has 4 or 5, and maybe with that extra lunge, he got a little bit more. Tom Hicks, the tackler. Neil Armstrong talking to Vince Evans.
Boy, if the Eagles can run against that defense with the fullback, Armstrong knows that they're in a little bit of trouble. That was a standoff, Sizemore against Big Hampton, the #1 draft a couple of years ago for the Bears, and he is a heck of a young defensive end.
What is that quote?
His was that strength has never been his weakness. There he is right there.
That's a keeper.
That's a keeper.
2nd and 4 at the 32 with the lone setback Harris. And a handoff is to him. Jerry Muckensturm was the first Bear to make contact with Harris and take him down. Short of a first down.
And the Bears have not won on the road. Their 3 wins all came at Soldier Field. A big one on the road like this, it would really turn them on. They're always a good second-half team, aren't they, Jimmy Finks? We've talked to him about that.
They have been so far in recent years. They've either been very good or very bad.
This guy wears well, though, Armstrong. You know it? He's fair with the players. I think he's hard on them, but I think he's fair. They seem to be a pretty together group of guys.
Coached me in college. 3rd and 1. Mona has the first down and almost breaks the whole thing. Gary Finsick put the clamp on him, but Louis is doing an excellent job in place of Wilbert Montgomery.
What did you say, that when he was at Utah State, his wife was going to cook Italian dinner for the offensive lineman for every 100-yard day?
That was his promise.
How many times she have to put the lasagna on?
She had to cook them 17 times for the offensive line.
Pretty good little player, isn't he?
Yes, sir. I don't care whose relative he is. Dick Vermeil's sister is his mother, is that right?
I think that's right, yes.
1st and 10 for the Eagles after that run by Piamona. Long count again for Jaworski. Penalty marker down. Jaworski just throws it away. A couple of markers down, in fact. Leroy Harris, the intended receiver.
Big pass rush that time. The Bears were stunning. They have 26 sacks coming in. Watch this. 99 is right in the center of your screen. That's Hampton, the big Arkansas Razorback. Sizemore loses him, gets some help from Perot, and here he is running amok again. He comes on.
Red Cashin now in his discussion to see what the problem is. Going to be against the Bears. 5-yard walk-off, and we'll find out what happened right now. Miss Texan.
Face mask. by the defense. First down.
And away from the point of the play,
58 of the defense. 58.
58 on the defense. Jerry Muckenstern must have grabbed one of the receivers as he came by. Just grabbed him in the wrong place.
That used to be one of our best techniques.
It was hard on the neck when it was legal. 10:54 left in the first half with the Eagles on the move and leading 7-0. With New England's loss, they could be the team with the best record in football. Pitch is back to Giamona. Louis takes a shot in the back this time after he picked up about 5.
Doug Plank really hit him in the back, Patrick. A good offensive play, though. That time it looked to me like there was a blitz on. You could see number 59, Muckenstern, coming across. The fullback took him on the line of scrimmage. And
boy, this one had to hurt.
What a shot. Plank is one of those 5-foot 10-inch guys that can bench press about 350 pounds.
There is the Eagle Brain Trust. 5 assistant coaches up here.
Bruni and Hill and Wampler and Sid Gilman. And Bruni never sits down, the old defensive back. He's in charge of DBs, and he is out of his mind about half the time.
That's the largest coaching staff in the NFL, 2nd and 4. Here's Harris. He'll have a first down and more. Still on his feet is Leroy Harris. Banging down inside the 30, out of bounds. Clock will stop as Terry Schmidt and Doug Plank knock him out of bounds.
Remember, without Wilbert Montgomery back there, the Bear defense may be laying back thinking, the fullback, come on, you got to be kidding. Good block by Guy Morris, the offensive center, and a darn good move by a fullback who's not known to get out of a straight line very much. Good play.
He's had some knee problems, but things seem to be coming together for Leroy Harris. 7-0 Philadelphia. Clock stopped with 9.5, and now they start at 9:28 left in the first half. Philadelphia 9 first downs, Chicago just 4. It is still Giamona and Harris behind Jaworski. Carmichael right, Smith left. For Carmichael. Almost there, almost picked off, almost everything. Terry Schmidt was the Bear defender.
Jaworski does not believe it. Not that it wasn't caught, that he didn't get the INT. A little bit of pressure from the left side. I believe it's Alan Page. Ball is thrown and hummed. But that time Carmichael had to wait for it, and Schmidt really made the good move. Carmichael had no chance to catch it.
Carmichael ranks second only to Tommy McDonald in career touchdowns as an Eagle. He broke the record he shared with Pete Pihos last week.
He got 62 touchdowns, is that right?
Right. 6 behind McDonald, I think. There's Bill Berkey over on the sideline.
The Chicago fans will understand a Butkus look-alike like Berkey, huh?
Fondly. Jaworski outside for Kepley. Incomplete off his fingertips as he tried to keep his feet in bounds. Terry Schmidt again on the coverage.
Hartenstein put a lot of pressure on Jaworski that time. He had nobody else he could even look for. He had about a 2-count drop and get it out of there because Hartenstein was coming. Hartenstein has to have special shoulder pads, the big defensive end from Penn State, number 73. He's got such tremendous development in the levitars and across the shoulders that they got to make him special, like a saddle almost.
Is that Tony Franklin with a shoe on? It is a little brisk. Here's Jaworski with the heat on. Pass complete to Wally Henry. That should be enough for a first down.
Jaworski's hurt. He was knocked down that time. The Bears came with a blitz. They're only about a 20% blitzing team, but they came up the middle that time, and they caught the quarterback and drilled him.
And up quickly off the bench is Joe Pisarcik. See what happened to Jaworski.
Let's see where they come from. They even had a safety blitz coming. They had Ellis coming from one side, didn't they? Or Doug Plank.
Plank is the man who hit him.
And Walterscheid was also making a move.
With all that, however, it's a first down for the Eagles at the Bears' 16.5-yard line. Clock running with 8:20 left first half. From the eye, Giamona's deep. Just back to Louis. Down to about the 15. Picked up a couple. Gary Campbell made the tackle.
Great play by Hartenstein, too. The defensive end got over there and got in on the tackle. That play looked like it was going to go somewhere. Then the cornerback showed up, number 45, Finsick.
Kansas City and Detroit at Arrowhead Stadium, and Kansas City leads 10-0. Touchdown pass from Steve Fuller to Mike Williams.
Now the Bears are coming with what they call a sub-5 defense. They'll have 5 down linemen. They'll occupy all of your guys, and then it's just a fight. Very tough defense to do anything with.
Jaworski puts Carmichael and Smith wide right on the same side. Harris is the lone setback. Different formation, and they looked at that defense, and it confused them. And Jaworski takes a timeout. They'll have 2 left in the first half. Jerry
Wampler says that they'll run that anywhere. They'll even use it inside the 5, but it's tough.
And it's confusing. So the Detroit Lions, after that dynamite start, have stubbed their toe just a bit. Much to the great interest of the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings.
The Bears are back to a normal 4 this time. They changed back 2.
Yamona split wide to the left, and again that same formation with Harris the lone setback. The lob pass for Smith. No flags, incomplete.
Good place to throw it, though. If you can't throw it to the back part of the end zone, throw it short and let your receiver come back for it. This will drive a cornerback right into a rubber room. But I'll tell you, Jaworski has not had a lot of time. There's been at least one Bear with an elbow in his face on just about every pass play. Terry Schmidt was right there, right?
So it'll be 3rd down for the Eagles. Bears come in with Walter Scheid and some other substitutes. Al Harris comes in, who was the #1 draft choice a couple of years ago, along with Hampton. They want to put some heat on Jaworski. And they're going to do it with what looks like a blitz. And now they walk out of it. Hartenstein is... Oh, wow, what a blindside shot.
Wow.
If he gets up, I'll be surprised.
He beat Stan Walters cleanly to the outside, and Hartenstein had a direct run at it. And I'm telling you, Jaworski was really shelled. Watch this play now. They fake the blitz. Campbell comes across just a little bit. Watch 73. He gets the outside on Walters to the left part of your screen. Wow. 1,000 words that picture will tell you. What an impact.
And none of those words will Jaworski remember after a shot like that.
Sack number 27 for the Bears.
They're 2nd in the league, and none will be remembered more than that one. Jaworski is still down. 7-0. The Philadelphia Eagles over the Bears.
Hey, Tom.
Who's still down.
I've seen him play with broken hands, with bad backs. He's moving now. That's Dr. DeStefano that's down there, and Otho Davis. Vermeil is out there, too. This was not an illegal cheap shot. And the one thing that protects the quarterback sometimes in this situation is he doesn't know it's coming. He happens to be on the railroad track, but he's so relaxed that the whiplash almost, the relaxation helps him, I think.
Hartenstein must have knocked him at least 6 feet through the air.
A tremendous shot. But that's the way the game of football is played. That's the quarterback.
If they legislate things like this out, all the ballparks would be empty.
Well,
it's a tough way to make a living.
And Ron Jaworski would not want that. He's one of the quarterbacks that doesn't want special handling. He is a tough cookie.
And boy, it's never been proven more than that. Carmichael out helping him off.
And also Davis, the trainer. I tell you, that is some guy there. That Jaworski has worked. He came in here with Vermeil, and some people said he could never be a starter, and he has run the program.
I'll be honest with you. I had been somewhat of a doubter, but he convinced me for all time last week against Dallas.
He has just completely grown up and expanded, and Joe Pisarcik now, the former Giant, will come in and the next series if that's needed, but now we got the field goal attempt, huh?
From 42 yards out with John Shira holding. Tony Franklin will try it.
He's 5 of 9.
Hard to tell what the wind's doing down there. Remember, that's deflected by the Bears, and they'll take over back at the original line of scrimmage. Still the Eagles lead, however, 7-0.
Let's see who came through and made the block, Patrick.
Somebody at the line of scrimmage got a hand up, and that would indicate to me that the ball just wasn't high enough.
Alan Page, maybe.
In the middle of that group over on the sideline is, with his back to you and the cape on, is Ron Jaworski, and now they're covering up his head. It'll be first down Bears as Robin Earl goes in motion in front of Walter Payton. And Payton breaks a couple of tacklers. That's probably the Bears' longest run of the day. Bernard Wilson made the tackle for Philadelphia.
I think that was blocked. I think somebody in the line of scrimmage got the low kick and hit it. And I wouldn't bet against Alan Page. He's already blocked 2 kicks this year. And, you know, in 33 games with the Bears, Alan Page has had 29.5 sacks at 220 pounds. I know we should be talking about the offense, but you got to mention that.
Payton got 6 yards on that running play, so make it 2nd and 4 at the 31. Vince Evans still the quarterback. This is Roland Harper. And they roll right with Roland.
Payton has 25 yards on 8 carries. The play before that, Roland Harper got the real good block on John Bunting and gave Walter a little bit of room to run for that 6.
Joe Pisarcik, the ex-Giant who spent time in Canada. And there's Ron Jaworski. A little bit woozy still, as I'm sure you can tell. That's not a surprise at all if you saw that hit. First down Bears. Trainer still with Jaworski, asking him, I'm sure, if he remembers what happened. Brent Nerve will be here at the half with all the scores from around the league. There have been some surprises. That Atlanta victory over Los Angeles puts them in a tie for first place with the Rams. And, of course, Buffalo knocked off New England.
I think Vince Evans and the Bears may try to get on the board. I think he may try to throw a long one here very shortly.
And nobody, as we mentioned before, can throw it longer. That's not long. That's to Earl down the middle, and the big bull struggles down inside the 40, down to about the 37. John Bunting knocked him down. Robin Earl goes about 250, 6'5",
and he's really adjusted from the fullback role to that tight end spot. Now, the last week against Dallas, a couple of times the combo defenses that the Eagles used left the tight end wide open. The Bears saw that, and they sort of intimated before the game that they might be able to get in that vacuum and fill it with a 250-pound former fullback.
Got to be a good-sized vacuum. Jaworski, the word is, has a slight concussion. That occurred when his head hit the ground. He might be back. That's Harper to the outside. Nothing doing as LeMaster wraps him up after it looked like something might develop.
Great play by John Bunting, number 95. The brains of the Eagle defense is the top of your screen, 95. He calls the defenses that Marion Campbell gives him. He comes across, takes Sorey on, takes the other blocker with him, and now the fullback is by himself.
Actually, he got both guards, both Jackson and Sorey. It is official and confirmed now, as we got the information from the Bear bench, that Alan Page did say that he got a hand on that missed field goal by Tony Franklin.
You can't argue with a lawyer, can you?
He passed the bar. Last year, Minnesota. Earl in motion. Evans sprint out right. Slips momentarily, throws. Pass is intercepted by Bernard Wilson on the ricochet. Intended for James Scott.
That's his 4th interception of the year, and every one of them has come on a deflection. And the reason is he is such a hustler, Bernard Wilson is, from Vanderbilt, that he goes over to see what's happening and gets the good things.
Shades of Pete Rose in the World Series.
And Young made a heck of a play on that sideline pattern.
And so the Eagles will take over with Joe Pisarcik at the helm at their own 23. 4:20 left in the first half. A bruising defensive battle as we expected. But the Eagles on top at the moment, 7-0. Giamona. And Louis out to the 30. Running well. Tom Hicks, the linebacker in the middle, made the tackle.
Running off Jerry Sizemore's side. Let's see what Woody Peoples does, number 69. He takes Osborne inside. Sizemore straightens up. the linebacker, and Jamona just doesn't waste any time. He just spots it and sort of runs under the hole, doesn't he?
Whatever is necessary, Jamona will do it. Jamona again. Gary Fensick on the tackle, but a Philadelphia first down.
I'll tell you one thing, Mrs. Jamona better get the pot on. Looks like linguine time. This kid is having a heck of a game. Offensive line, Sizemore and company doing a great job. That time they blew the Bears right off the line of scrimmage.
Looking down at the Eagle meeting with the Swamp Fox, Marion Campbell.
He says Walter Payton is the greatest running back that's ever played the game. Simply.
One member of that Eagle defense that's not in that meeting is Berge. It looks like he might be shaken up a bit. Here's Keith Cutley, the tight end, taken down by Gary Fensick. A good tackle in the open field.
Nobody tackles better than playing Fensick. And Ellis and Schmidt are not bad either. That's a good tackling defense. But if you stun a lot on the defensive line of scrimmage, while it gives you good sacks, a lot of disturbance, you can run against it once in a while, and you can't handle it if you cut it off early. Here's the quick out to the tight end. Krepfle is an extremely capable player.
Tackled by an extremely capable safety man, Gary Fensick. There is Berge. And I'm not sure what the problem is with Bill at the moment. Looks like a shoulder might be stinging a bit. Leroy Harris. Bears were expecting pass. They got Harris straight up the middle, stopped by Plank.
This time it's off the second-year guard's left flank, Petey Perot. Not a bad blocking job. Except for the block, Alan Page hasn't really done a lot today.
They won't run another play before Pisarcik comes over for the 2-minute warning. And in fact, he's already started that stroll. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. This is, however, the 2-minute warning that'll stop the clock.
What are you, sadist?
Bill Berge has a jammed shoulder, which is being massaged right now. In all likelihood, he'll be back.
Last 2 minutes is going to be rather interesting. Bears got to do some gambling now. Get the ball.
Joe Pisarcik on 3rd down and 2. They need throws. And has Charlie Smith for the first down inside the 40.
And not an easy catch. The ball was thrown behind him. And of all the receivers that I've watched, and I've watched this young man in practice a few times, he catches the tough catch and takes a shot as well as anybody.
And yet you don't hear too much about him. They put it down at the 40, a 16-yard pickup. Pisarcik's first throw is successful. Talk about a big, tough quarterback. If you haven't seen him before, he took some pounding in those years with the Giants and hung right in there. Big guy. Pisarcik looking again. Carmichael dives, and it's just a little too far out of his reach. Gary Campbell on the coverage.
Boy, Woody Peoples and Jim Osborne that time. You talk about 2 bulls meeting head on. The line of scrimmage is really on fire right now. Watch the right part of your screen. See if we can catch it. I mean to tell you, they are just 2 rhinoceroses heading at it.
Perot doing a good job on the other side on Page, with a little assist from Guy Morris, the center, which is what the Eagles had planned to do to Allen. Double him when they could.
Pisarcik had only thrown 5 balls, completed 2, so he might be a little bit tense, a little tight.
On a quick count, Pisarcik throws out to Giamona, and he is taken down by Doug Plank as soon as he makes the catch.
What a tackle. An open field tackle. Giamona had to turn around just enough to where Doug Plank just ate him up right at the knees. Watch this. Young folks, this is the way to do it. Plank measures him, makes the perfect tackle, and wraps him up.
Boy, that is a good tackle. If you conducted a clinic on how it should be done, you wouldn't need to say a word after watching that.
Well, he hits you a little bit at all times, the way I used to, you know, before and after the game or any time.
I remember.
He could get in.
A solid competitor. 3rd down. Long yardage. They're out of field goal range, I think, even for Franklin. If he hits a good one. Penalty marker down as Giamona has the football, slips, gets to about the 35. Looked like somebody on the Bear defensive line might have jumped offside.
Alan Page just got the attention of number 9. Page came through so quickly and dumped Pisarcik back on about the 50-yard line. Maybe he was offside. It always seems that way if you're trying to block him, I guess.
Red Cashin gave us a little double head fake there on this signal. Started to call it against the Eagles and then went back against the guys in white. Walk off against the Bears.
Offside. Number 82 on the white. Still third down.
82 is Alan Page, still third down. Billy Camfield comes in. Krepfle comes out. So does Leroy Harris.
Wally Henry's in there now.
3 wide receiver set up for the Eagles this time as Carmichael and Henry go left. Henry comes right. Charlie Smith and Carmichael go left.
Camfield is a very good receiver.
Pisarcik has the ball batted away by one of the Bear defensive linemen. I think that time Dan Hampton.
And I believe Gary Fencing blitzed that time. The blitz was on by the Bears. Again, that time Camfield stayed in because he read blitz and tried to block a little bit over on Hartenstein. Boy, that is some effort. That's Hartenstein.
Right.
And he is all over the field. Of course, he comes from Allentown, right upstate here from Philadelphia.
There's Jaworski. Still probably a little woozy from that hit he took from Hartenstein. The Eagles will go on 4th down. Not trying for a field goal. Let's see what's going on now. The Bears call a timeout. And they have just one left, as does Philadelphia.
I don't know if the Bears are good enough right now to beat the Eagles, but I thought it would be a perfect time if they had their act together to do it, and I still think they're very much in this game. The Eagles, in the way it seems, is that you can keep the attention of the players and the intensity for about 4 weeks. And
now they have the correct number. 38 seconds left to play. On 4th down, Pisarcik will try to throw. Straight back. Good protection. Almost picked off by number 51 for the Bears, Bruce Herron. A linebacker in good coverage that time.
Was that field goal out of Franklin's range?
I didn't think so. Remember, he hit a 59-yarder last year against Dallas. That would have been about a 55-yarder.
Of course, the ball would come back to the line of scrimmage, I guess, but that's where it is now.
St. Louis beat Baltimore 17-10. Count the Cardinals out of the picture yet. There, first down with Vince Evans sprinting out to his right, throwing deep, and he can throw deep. There was a collision. Scott has it. James Scott has it, and it might be a Bear touchdown. Penalty marker down, however.
I believe they ran into Scott down here around the 24-yard line. That ball overthrew airmail special delivery over the whole secondary. Watch this play. A big rush by Clark, and young Vince Evans cut it loose. This is a spaceship. It goes over Bernard Wilson. They fall down, and that's 2 weeks in a row. That's not an accident. That is just fantastic.
But the penalty is against Chicago.
Wow, what did they do wrong?
Had to be offensive pass interference called on Scott.
Pass interference by the offense, number 89. Still first down.
What a play. Never mind, folks. You're still going to see this one in your living rooms all week back in Chicago, too. This is some heave. Vince Evans had nothing to do with what happened except he threw it. And Scott pushed and came out with it. What a play.
The collision took place before we picked it up, however, as Scott collided with one of the defensive backs. And then they collided with each other. So with 22 seconds left to play now, Vince Evans will without doubt put it up again. Walter Payton keeps it, and Payton breaks into the Eagles secondary, picks up good yardage before Carl Hairston brings him down.
Payton had his arm up, too, like he might throw the ball. He has thrown it in the past before he got the shoulder injury and thrown it pretty well. He can do everything you can do with a football.
He is also the backup punter and place kicker. The Eagles come in with different kind of troops on defense. And the Bears have used their last timeout. 2nd and 5.
How do you throw over a nickel defense the way he did it? I've never seen that done.
Well, first thing you do is knock the defensive backs down. Here's Evans. And there is Evans. Down in the grass with Carl Hairston, number 78.
That's only the 15th sack that the Eagles have registered. They get a lot of hurry-ups and scares, but it's hard to get to them sometimes.
You don't get much pass rush out of that 3-man front, which they stay in most of the time. Here's Evans. Maybe one more play he'll get off, but he better hurry. Now I'll throw it as far as I can if I have time. Nope, to Peyton. Peyton knocked down as soon as he makes the catch and wisely ducks under. Now it's Jerry Robinson that brought Peyton down, and that's the end of the first half at Veterans Field.
I would be a bit surprised to see Vince Evans, the next time the Bears get the ball, run a little bit with the ball, perhaps keep it and try to do something on his own.
Well, he can do it. So the Eagles will have the ball when the second half starts. Thomas doesn't really get all of it. It's going to be Campfield at the 9. And Billy has some room. And Billy is cut down, and a penalty marker also comes down. Like Lee Coons was the man who made the tackle. You would expect clipping on a call like this, on a situation like this. Injured Eagle, I believe, is Campfield.
Campfield averages 24 yards a return. He's had those smaller injuries we talked about, but he's great late in the season. And he's the one person that Dick Vermeil says you have to build him up confidence-wise once in a while and tell him, you know, you're a great part of this team. You got to help us. He takes a heck of a shot. Looks like he might have hit on one of his shoulders or an elbow, huh?
And that artificial surface is very, very hard, especially when it's wet. Red Cashin with the walk-off against Philadelphia.
Clipping during the run back. Number 51 of the receivers. First down.
At the 17. It'll be an Eagle first down. Billy Campfield is still down out at about the 32-yard line. There's the Eagle medical staff, which has had a busy day.
And you know, this is sort of this town's in shock anyway here. The Phillies and the parade they had, and Pete Rose and everybody running around. The whole town is upbeat about sports. I mean, it's an incredible sports city anyway, but these people just believe that this team is going to end up in the Super Bowl somehow. And
well, if they do, and you think back about the major championships of the 4 major sports, depending upon what you consider to be major sports, but basketball, hockey, baseball, and if the Eagles make it up football, they'd have a team in the finals of every category. And Jaworski is the quarterback. Anfield comes off.
And the cheers are for him. He has heard other things at times as he's adjusted to the Vermeil system, but after 5 years, he is the QB. There's no doubt about it.
Bear defense remains the same. The Eagles put their 2 ace wide receivers to the left. Carmichael and Smith. Crepley is the tight end to the right. Giamona, who had a good first half, stopped by fencing.
Petey Perot, that time they ran in sort of the bubble. That you can see that Alan Page is on the nose. Makes it an odd man front. That's Guy Morris blocking him. 62 goes on through on the linebacker, gets a good block. And look out, train comes through on Tuesday. He arrived.
Giamona got 6 yards on that first down carry, so make it 2nd and 4. Opening minutes of half number 2 with Philadelphia leading by the score of 7-0 as Alan Page wraps up Leroy Harris. Shy of a first down.
This year, Alan Page has an interception. He's blocked 2 field goals, deflected 2 passes, recorded a safety, and dropped opposing runners behind the line of scrimmage 3 times. Other than that, Alan just has had an average year.
All of that for a gray beard of 35.
Incredible.
Still jogs almost every day with his wife. Used to weigh 279 pounds, did they say?
And at 220, he is just like blocking a ghost. Short yardage time.
And And Jaworski gives to Giamona, who has the first down. He's stopped by Terry Schmidt. But a good hole on the right side. Let's see how they accomplish that.
Big block by Keith Krepley, number 84, the tight end, lower left part of your screen. And you know the Bears are waiting. That's exactly what they anticipated. Carmichael gets through too. I think he actually threw up double team the big defensive end.
And a good block by Leroy Harris on the safety man, Walter Scheid.
Fullback has to block, boy, these days, huh?
These are two of the best. Harris for Philadelphia and Harper for Chicago. Straight ahead. Got a couple. Osborne wraps him up.
If I'm a defensive coach or player right now against the Eagles with Mr. Jaworski, I play right now for the fumble or the INT if you can force him to throw it when you want to. They've had some trouble holding on to the ball from the running side. And with Wilbert out of there, there's still going to be some kind of a drop-off in the level of the running game. There's no way you can hide that.
Steve Kenny has replaced Jerry Sizemore at right tackle for the Eagles. Sizemore has a slight concussion, and he won't be back. 2nd and 9 here as Jaworski drops. And again, pressure as Giamona has it and couldn't find a handle. Hampton and Page put the pressure on Jaworski.
Watch Hampton now. It'll come from the right side. Let's see what the blocking looks like. Again, they're a good bunch of stunners. You've got Page always starting early and keeping the drive going. That ball was barely gotten off and catchable.
And now Hampton is working against Sizemore's replacement, Kenny. And Hampton's tough enough if you know what he's doing. And if you're a stranger against him, it's going to be a long afternoon, I have a feeling. There's number 99.
Kenny is a one-year man out of Clemson. He's 265 pounds, 6'4". He's going to learn a lot today.
Page jumps and jumps back. Here comes Hampton. He makes Jaworski duck. He does. Pass complete to Giamona.
Good defense. Good defense. Big rush from the outside made Jaworski duck back inside. All right, watch the stunt now. You'll see him exchange positions here. Watch Hampton go down inside, maybe. And Osborne then swings around the outside. And Osborne is a runaway truck, a great stunning interior lineman.
Dave Becker made the tackle, and here is Max Runniger, number 4 for the Eagles, back in punt formation. Walter Scheid should be deep for Chicago and is. They hope the Bears will jump. They put the pressure on Runniger. He gets off a good kick. Walter Scheid, a fair catch at the 28-yard line, where the Bears will take over for the first time in the second half. Jerry Robinson was right down in Walter Scheid's face. So with 11:14 left, third quarter, it's still Philadelphia 7, the Bears nothing. That's Summerall with Tom Brookshier at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Houston on a 55-yard touchdown run by Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell
leads Cincinnati 10-3. Houston, if they win, would tie Cleveland for first place in the AFC Central, ahead of Pittsburgh. I don't know how long it's been since that situation occurred. Here's Evans on first down, looking and throwing for Jennifer Scott. Randy Logan picked it off. Logan around the corner. Knocked out of bounds by Evans and Dan Neal. It was intended for Ricky Watts. I beg your pardon. And a penalty marker is down.
That is Logan's first interception of the year. He's a Michigan player. He's the old graybeard, the old timer in that secondary. The tight safety man doesn't get many chances. Darn good pass blocking. There was nobody rushing him. This ball was just thrown into the traffic. He didn't see the under coverage.
Another injured Eagle. Watch the run back first. It's Carl Hairston who's down.
Charlie Johnson out in front trying to get a block there from Bigfoot Harrison. Now Neal and Evans came over and drilled him out of bounds.
Unnecessary roughness, number 8 of the defense, first down.
That is Carl Hairston who's down. The unnecessary roughness call was against Vince Evans. When's the last time you've seen a quarterback call for unnecessary roughness?
And do it very efficiently. He came over. The trouble was he loaded up the elbow a little bit. And I think that the ball carrier, Logan, was already out of bounds. But if somebody intercepts the ball off of you, you just got to go ahead and give it a shot. Here it is. Logan's heading for the sidelines. And very quickly, he's going to be heading out of bounds. Here's Neal. And here's the quarterback. It's all about it's get even time.
I want the ball back.
We used to hope quarterbacks would do that and hurt their arm or elbow.
First down for Philadelphia. Harris down hard by Page. That, by the way, was Logan's 20th career interception as an Eagle, and it ties him for 6th place on the all-time interception list for Philadelphia with Tom Brookshier and Chuck Bednarik.
Bednarik had that many? Or that few? There's your average fan in Philadelphia.
It's getting close to haunting time, isn't it?
This is some game we got right here. This is a thumper.
2nd and 9 at the 12 as Jaworski looks and is going to take off and run out of bounds, sliding as the Bears converge, led by Harris and Hampton. Kansas City and Detroit are now tied at 10 apiece as Billy Sims has just ripped off a 45-yard run to tie it for the Lions.
He didn't rip any off against this Chicago team a week ago. He got 53 yards on like 16 carries.
Is that an autograph? Yeah, it is.
That is the worst looking darn bird I've ever seen. You know that?
Well, Halloween's coming. At the 10, 3rd and 7. 10:13 left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles, and now Trippley comes way out wide to the right and took a little too much time, and Jaworski calls a timeout. The Bear defensive unit with its back to the wall and its work cut out for it at the moment. Blank, number 46, with his back to you. He and Finsick, number 45, next to him.
Boy, those two, you talk about pet baby bulls.
3rd down, Philadelphia. Bears fake the blitz and then back out of it. They're in that 5-man front. And Jaworski looks, is chased, and now he can go. Jaworski down for enough for a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 3. Alan Page tripped him up.
He's getting up slowly, but after Hartenstein hit him at the crossroads, we never thought we'd see number 7 again. He has to put it away. Good defensive rush this time. I believe that's Osborne that made him run out of the pocket. I'll tell you, 200 pounds, though, he's a pretty good athlete, and he really got hit there by, I think it was Doug Plank or Finsick, wasn't it?
It was Finsick, and I believe Walterscheid behind him. There's Alan Page, who also came up to get a piece of him.
Finsick is really a tough guy for an Ivy Leaguer, isn't he?
He has to be. It's 1st and goal. They put it down at the 2. And Giamona. And this is Leroy Harris, and now he fakes to Harris. Hits Giamona. He gets the touchdown. Finsick was wrapped around him, but Louis worked his way in.
That's Giamona's first touchdown pass he's caught this year. He really had to earn it. Again, the Bears are in that short yardage defense. There's a lot of scrapping. They're grabbing jerseys and everything else. Jaworski did have the time, though. Good offensive protection. Now it's just effort. It's me and you.
And an excellent effort by Louis Giamona. Eagles now lead 13-0. Shara puts it down. Franklin puts it through. It's 14-zip. Philadelphia over Chicago. 4 plays. They went 13 yards as Jaworski gets them in. That's Dave Williams. And the insert, Tony Franklin has it teed up and ready to put the bare foot into it.
Williams had a 9.700 out at my old school, Colorado. few years ago.
They could use him now.
I'd say.
Williams at the 12. Bangs outside the 30. Zach Henderson made the tackle for Philadelphia.
You know, I see some real irate people out there. Every play now, somebody is trying to take the guy's shoulder pads off.
It's cold.
That'll warm things up in a hurry.
First down Bears. They trail by 2 touchdowns. 8:58 left third quarter. The Eagles 14. The Bears nothing. First and 10 at the 32-yard line. Vince Evans still the quarterback.
I think he should run the ball a little bit.
He has the best back deep in the eye in Walter Payton. And they give it to him. Harper out front. Payton gets just barely a yard. Frank LeMaster. I mentioned it was cold. And there's the living proof.
Notice how quickly that Eagle defense flows to it. That's the way Anderson sort of beat the system, was that people ran by him. He actually cut back or reverse. Something that's a misdirection thing, because they pursue very quickly and they don't waste any time.
That, of course, is one of the secrets of that 3-4 defense. And when you have 4 very mobile linebackers like they do, they really get into the picture in a hurry. Payton, 10 carries, 42 yards so far. Fisher left in motion. Evans goes straight back. Penalty marker down. Evans throws. Almost a one-hander by Ricky Watts.
What a try by Watts, though. What a great try. With one hand, he almost caught that ball, and Young was already sticking him in the back.
Watch the flag come flying in.
Tony Verna now has the entire defensive line and those linebackers. Now, the flag you see fall. Watch this attempt, though, downfield. Boy, I'll tell you, that's close.
Those two, of course, played in the playoffs. Here it is again. Last year, the Eagles won then, and they're up again.
Got a double bump on Claude Humphrey that gave the quarterback the time
Illegal
to do it.
shift by the offense. 2 men moving at the same time before the ball is snapped. Penalty is refused. It'll be 3rd down.
You heard the message. Red Cashin. 3rd down and about 8 at the 34.
Now, of course, Vermeil's team is getting the pass rushing line in there, so you think he'd probably draw to Payton, even throwing it to Walter Payton. It's not a bad idea. Evans. Almost picked off by John Punting. Went through his hands. Roydell Young on the coverage. Penalty marker down. The Bears are applauding. Let's see what it is.
Noah Jackson in a little bit of a shoving match with Claude Humphrey.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Eagles. John Bunting almost made the interception. And, you know, Roydell Young, he goes through the receiver's numbers on almost every play he makes in the secondary. He's got to be fearless. Maybe he's just young.
It helps. Here again is Red Cashin.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 87 on the defense. 1st down.
87, of course, is Claude Humphrey.
Just another average Philadelphia fan.
It's got to be cold.
You've got to
Maybe
be
not.
kidding. You've got to be kidding.
14-0. Bob and Earl moves up on the line of scrimmage. Backschnagel moves back. Fake to Payton. They're trying to screen momentarily. Pass is caught by Scott. That'll be enough for a Bear 1st down.
Boy, he has such a gun. That is a very long pass. The deep sideline is, you know, the hypotenuse of the right triangle, right? It has to travel a long way. The fake to Payton should help. This ball is drilled, and Herm Edwards plays the out about as well as any quarterback I've seen. It's a great catch, great throw.
You could work every play like that. Nobody would stop anybody.
It was the hypotenuse.
I remember that from a long time ago.
You were a math teacher.
Among other things. 14-0. Here comes Earl. Here's Payton. There's some good blocking out in front by Dennis Lick, the offensive tackle, who's a real mountain coming out in front of it.
Berge just saved a touchdown, Patrick. If Berge hadn't have made that from behind, Walter had gotten to the sideline. Dennis Lick ran right over John Bunning, I believe, and just buried him. All right, watch the upper part of your screen. Let's just find out together what happened on this. The crackback takes care of Bunning. Now here comes 70. He's going to work on the cornerback, Young. He buries the #1 draft pick. I'll tell you, Walter had some green shirts to go through yet.
5-yard gain, make it 2nd and 5 at the 34. And again, it's Walter Payton. Short of a first down by a couple down near the 30. Jerry Robinson and Frank LeMaster.
Now that's a new play. Right-handed as Walter Payton is, if they come out and start running from different formations to the left, they've got a chance. That's a good idea because everybody plays him to be extremely right-handed, like probably 60-something% of the time. Walter's carrying that ball a little loose today, isn't he?
Reevy Sorey out in front of the play along with Noah Jackson. Claude Humphrey over on the sideline now, taking a little break. It'll be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. How about 2? Payton again. Payton breaks into the secondary down to the 15. Jerry Robinson finally drags him down, but Walter Payton, as was pointed out before, once you get him headed up the field, look out.
And he's running left. The center, Neal, does a good job. He cuts off the Charlie Johnson, the nose guard. Good block on Carl Hairston. I believe that was by Sorey. And I'll tell you, you better get some help. At 200 and some odd pounds, he's the strongest runner of all time, and he takes you on at the moment of truth. Oh, man, what a running back.
17 yards for Walter Payton, a first down for Chicago. Payton now up to 66 yards and 13 carries. 1st and 10 from the 14. Roland Harper gets the call this time. Near the 10, Frank LeMaster hit him, but Harper leaning toward that goal line.
The Bears are running hot. They're sort of mad about a couple of things that have happened. They were mad when the play was called back. It looked like a touchdown to Scott from Evans. Then Claude Humphrey thumped somebody, and it looks like they suddenly have gotten the Bears' attention.
(14-0). The Eagles trying to improve their record to 7-1 lead. The Bears trying to even at 4-4. 4:26 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Double tight end formation. Evans gives again to Payton. Payton is down near the 5 and near another Chicago first down. Maybe not quite.
Again, the Bears are going against the Eagle computer. They're running from a formation they should go right on. Instead, they're going left on it. And Walter Payton can run either direction with strength. He bench presses 390. He military presses 300, and he does it all in his own house. He is really a statue.
It'll be 3rd and about 1/2 yard to go for the first down for Chicago. Best looking drive they've put together all day. Humphrey and Clark into the game as the Eagles now put down 6 linemen. Quarterback sneak by Evans should have enough for the first down inside the 5. Stop the clock while they unstack.
And he's not a lightweight either, right? Stepping right behind Reevy Sorey, who's, what did he tell us he was weighing before the game? 260 something?
265.
Wants to play light, he says.
He's going to have to get some more material for that uniform if he gets any bigger.
And Noah Jackson, you know, it looks like a flex offensive line when he just lines up on the ball. He is a giant.
Nobody anywhere can hit a golf ball further than Noah Jackson.
And he does it with an easy-looking swing.
Yeah. First down. Clock running at 3:10, 3rd quarter. Evans, the quarterback, gives to Roland Harper. Penalty marker down. Bill Berge led the defensive charge, but a penalty flag is down.
Well, Roland Harper came into this game with, I think, 134 carries without a fumble. You know what it's like having a guy that you know is not going to cough the ball up even when Berge sticks him? Boy, did Berge tackle him and tried to get the ball, looks like.
What a courageous comeback Harper's made from knee surgery. Really had a difficult time in rehabilitation, but it seems to be all the way back. And without him in there, Payton is not the same.
Encroachment, number 56 of the defense, still first down.
It is still first down. The penalty against number 56, Jerry Robinson, for Philadelphia. One of those linebackers. It is still first down. First and goal for the Bears at the 2. Still Harper and Payton, 34 and 35 behind Vince Evans. Evans struggles straight ahead. He might have gotten it down to about a half yard away from the goal line. Reggie Wilkes, first man to hit him.
Now keep in mind, the Eagle defense has allowed 4 touchdowns rushing. And here we are in game number 8.
Are we going to call it off or what?
Oh, boy, I don't know. It really comes through the set, doesn't it? I feel like we're doing some kind of a psychiatric test.
A whole statement.
Why would he want to do that?
He wants to be heard. Injured Eagle down. They've had a tough day with injury. Berge was shaken up earlier. Hairston.
Remember, they've got Seattle. They've got Oakland. They've got San Diego. They've got Dallas on the last game of the season. The season is just beginning for those teams that want to go all the way, baby. This is going to be a tough run down the wire.
The Eagles have been home an awful lot in the early part of the season, and now they hit the road for 4 straight Sundays. Let's run down a few scores as the Eagles are being attended to here. Kansas City, touchdown by quarterback Steve Fuller, has recaptured the lead from Detroit, 17-10. Houston, led by Earl Campbell again, 13-3 over Cincinnati. And Oakland, hanging tougher and tougher each week. Plunkett, a touchdown pass to Bob Chandler and 3 field goals, and they lead Seattle 16-0.
What was it Bum Phillips said about why he takes his wife on all the road trips?
Oh, you're going to make me say that, huh?
Well, it was in the print. I just remember it was in a newspaper, probably your kicking newsletter, right?
Said that the reason he took her was because she was too unattractive to kiss goodbye.
And that is all in jest because Bum Phillips is a great family.
Are you going to help me out with the legal fees?
Remember, we were sued by the Sioux Nation one time for talking about all those crazy Redskins. Remember that?
Yes, I do. And they came after us. Eagle player still down, and I'm still not sure who it is. It's Berge, I think.
I believe it's Berge. Remember, he came back from knee surgery, missed most of last season. And
the 49ers can put some points on the board, can't they? It'll be second and goal. About a yard out for the Bears. Payton and Harper behind Evans. He gets to Harper. Touchdown, Chicago. The Bears fell behind 14-0, but they keep plugging right back.
That's the second touchdown rushing for Roland Harper. Puts it away. Again, he does not fumble. Man, he's got some good blocks. That's tough to do that against goal line defense. Berge digs him, and he's already in there. Great effort.
He just got lower than Berge and got under. And so Bob Thomas, with Brian Baschnagel holding, will try to move the Bears one more closer. Does.
11 for 11 by extra points.
So a 250. 14-7, the Eagles over the Bears. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier in Philadelphia. Bob Thomas lines this one in the direction of Wally Henry. And it'll go out of bounds in the end zone, and they'll operate from the 20. That might be the best strategy of all. Kick it into the end zone and make it go out of bounds.
Billy Canfield should handle those kickoff returns. He must have been nicked. Wally Henry's a receiver, too, and Vermeil doesn't want to overload him and give him too many things to do.
Remember, Canfield was hurt on the opening kickoff of the second half. And here is Joe Pisarcik at quarterback for Philadelphia.
I think Jaworski was hurt on that last run when he got down to the 1-yard line, huh?
Pick him up on the sideline. Jaworski, information is that is in the locker room. He felt like he was getting a little bit woozy, and he is still in the locker room. Here's Giamona. Nothing doing. Fumble. And the scramble is on. The Bears have it. Osborne, I believe, is on top of it.
And this is the way you win football games with defense. Go get the ball. Hard tackling. Small running back. Been doing a great job. Harris gets a good block. Here comes the flow over, and Hartenstein, I think, scrapes it up, doesn't he?
Right. So the Bears take over at the Eagle 21. Osborne on the recovery.
And notice how many white shirts were dancing around that ball.
Very little to cheer about for the Liberty Bells at the moment, although the Eagles still lead by 7. They've lost their nose guard. Charlie Johnson. His place been taken by Ken Clark. Number 71 operating in the middle now. Robin Earls at tight end. The handoff to Harper. They go behind Earls blocking.
That play is to get everybody in the right frame of mind, and I would imagine Vince will come back to the left formation runs with Walter Payton. One misdirection. Fullback gets it going away from Payton. The Eagles were there. That's Bigfoot Harrison at 280 that finally slams the door shut.
I was talking to Jim Finks, the general manager, before the game, to ask him how Robin Earl had managed the shift from fullback to tight end, and he said he's done an excellent job blocking. In fact, it's like playing with 3 tackles. Also came up with a good reception earlier. On second down, Evans looks. A lot of time for Evans. He ducks away from one man, ducks away from another. Evans all the way down inside of 10. Wonderful athlete.
Oh, and you know how that wrecks a defense if you're thinking, hey, we've got him contained, and he's so quick. One of the Chicago coaches was telling us that in training camp, they couldn't even touch him. They couldn't even tag him sometimes, the Bear players that know him real well. And remember, the Birds do not like a guy that it goes against the predictable. They like to know what you do. They don't care how well as long as they know. Look at this battle on the line of scrimmage.
Watching Noah Jackson, 65.
He recovers, gets a little bit of Clark, maybe just enough. Now watch this stretch. About a 4.5 40 guy right there, and he's your quarterback.
Pulled away from LeMaster. Struggled down to a first down inside the 10. It's first and goal from the 8. To the Bears. But it is to Payton. Payton inside the 5 to about the 3. John Bunting on the bottom of the Eagle defensive pile.
What's this battering ram right here? It's time to go, and still makes contact like a shot out of a cannon.
Payton moving up the all-time NFL rushing list. Man in front of him is no longer active. That is Larry Zonka, and he ought to catch Larry before this year is over.
John Bunting said that O.J. Simpson and Payton's feet the best.
Payton fell down. Evans looking for someplace to go. Can't find it. Goes out of bounds in the grasp of Herman Edwards. It was supposed to be a handoff to Payton. He slipped down.
That's one of the first times I've ever seen Walter Payton have a false step, and it's on that wet rug. Supposed to be inside. Boy, now the Eagles decide, okay, now we've got the quarterback when we can deliver once to him. Good stiff arm. And Herman Edwards does run him out of bounds. Right into our camera, into the view, huh?
Humphrey comes in. Dennis Harrison comes out. Bigfoot. And so it's third down now at the 3-yard line. And Evans sprint out right. Touchdown to Evans. Head over heels into the end zone. Roynell Young made the tackle, but Evans puts the Bears within 1.
That's what a running quarterback, a great athlete, can give you. Remember, he's got an extra blocker now. This is no doubt in anybody's mind what you want to do. Let's get outside and see if I can find some place to go.
A good block by Harper.
Good block by Walter Payton on the outside, too. He can really stick you.
It's 14-13. Vince Evans, a touchdown for the Bears on a 3-yard run. Bob Thomas with Bashnagel putting it down. Will tie it up. It's 14-all, and we still have 1 more second to play in the 3rd quarter. Wally Henry hiding behind Red Cashin back there to return the kickoff, depending upon how Thomas hits it.
The Bears have run 18 of their last 19 plays against a team that only allows 89 yards rushing per game. That's going after him.
There's Henry. There's Thomas. hits this one high, but not all that deep. Down to the 4, where Wally Henry comes barreling out, and he's got some room. Henry stays on his feet. Knocked down finally by number 83. Chris Haynes made the tackle.
The longest kickoff return of the year for Wally Henry. Big players save them for big games. This one was a must. Watch this. The wedge forms. There's Clark getting him a block. One missed tackle. He's going to get in trouble. So is he, and Henry's on the move.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Chicago 14, Philadelphia 14. We now pause for work. A 39-yard kickoff return by Wally Henry puts the Eagles out at their own 44. Well, they'll start the fourth quarter from there with Joe Pisarcik, the quarterback.
Time of possession, Bears 22 minutes 44 seconds, Eagles 22 minutes 16 seconds.
Score is tied 14-14. Talk about even. And a predictable contest, I think you'd have to say, with these two defenses. Here is Giamona. He gets out of the grasp of Tom Hicks and picks up about 4.
Pretty good block on Hartenstein by Stan Walters that time. There's Berge working on that shoulder. You got to have the Berg in there. That's the way the Eagle people feel.
What did he say he was weighing? About 245, 242, something like that?
242.
2nd and 7 at the 47 for Joe Pisarcik with Leroy Harris, the lone setback. And Pisarcik fires, or starts to fire. And down he goes as Jerry Muckenstern came from the blind side. And Pisarcik had no chance.
The second sack for the Bears, right up the middle. Nobody picked up. Let's see where the backs went. Somebody should have filled the hole. They weren't looking for this. Everybody's out of the backfield. It's time to eat that thing.
Bear defense starting to assert itself now at the 43, the line of scrimmage they'll mark. And it'll be 3rd down and about 11.
If you ever line up against a Chicago defense and you're not ready to get hit, you better take a day off.
It's 14-14 in the opening minutes of quarter number 4. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pisarcik again. This time the protection holds, and it's knocked down just at the last second by Allen Ellis. The cornerback, and what a play, as it was intended for Wally Henry. And again, an Eagle is shaken. This time it's Henry.
Gosh, what a catch. He is, all the air has to be knocked out. A good throw by Joe Pisarcik. Strong arm quarterback. Very strong. Hello.
I honestly didn't think he had a chance to make that catch. Good play. Wally Henry still down.
Well, we said that Vince Evans has so many things to add to an offense because he'll ad-lib, and we said that the Eagles' computer doesn't like that. They like to be against predictable people. And we asked him before the game about this, and I think Vince might have answered it.
Well, basically, I just like to do what they want me to do in terms of execution. You know, I think that any time that you get in a ball game, things don't always predict out like you think they might do in film. So I think that you have to instill your own instinctiveness, and this is one of the things that I try to do, is just go out and play the game.
Yeah, and give the ball to Walter once in a while.
Oh, definitely. You definitely don't want to keep it away from a guy like that.
Good. You're a class. I close that by saying you're a class item, and he certainly is.
Class catch by Wally Henry, and he paid the price. He is out on the sidelines being administered to right now. But it's a first down Philadelphia in Bear territory at the Chicago 38. Pisarcik fires, caught again. Giamona dives for the catch.
What a catch. The little men are having a big day. Look at this one. 173-pounder, Giamona. And Pisarcik had to really drill it because he had no time. Great catch.
There's Wally Henry, who was shaken up after that spectacular catch a minute ago. It appeared at first as if it were knocked down by Allen Ellis. But somehow, Mr. Henry came up with it. 2nd down. And 6 they need for first. Pisarcik on a draw play, and it's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by safety man Doug Plank.
He's hurt again. Doug is hurt from the tackle. He's been in and out today, and he wasn't supposed to come back. This time he's got to go out. Boy, what a tough dude he is. What a tackle.
Doug has departed. Bears put in 3 new linebackers. Muck and Sturm. Hicks.
You're going to see that sub-5 defense now where they line a guy on top of every offensive lineman and say, okay, nobody makes a mistake. We're going to beat on you.
Walter Scheid has replaced Doug Plank as one of the safety men for the Bears. It'll be 3rd down. There is pass intended for Carmichael and a penalty marker down as Pisarcik fired high. Walter Scheid was out there with Carmichael.
Well, it might have been Schmidt involved too. I can't tell who did it. I know they were doubling Carmichael. This is, by the way, the best thing that Joe Pisarcik does. He throws extremely well to the corner. Now maybe it's going to be pushing off. He throws this pattern about as well as anybody in football, the straight up. He always had that good gun.
I believe it's going to be against Carmichael. You saw Hampton soaring over the top.
I imagine they had somebody hit him in that 5-yard early zone, and Harrell must have pushed off.
That's Terry Schmidt back there with him. Walter Scheid came over.
For the defense, Mr. Alan Page.
I wonder if Red Cashin feels qualified to argue with the attorney.
We get Clarence Darrow.
Page in discussion. Vermeil and Bednarik over on the sideline.
Look at Bednarik. He's liable to go out and crack somebody. You got to keep CB60 on the sidelines.
Interference. Number 17 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
The call is against Carmichael. Osborne has a problem. He had been replaced by Brad Shearer. And now Shearer goes out.
You play defense all your life to get somebody with the new quarterback in the game for almost the first time the whole year and get them 3rd and long and squeeze them.
3rd and 17 here as the Eagles come out of the huddle with Pisarcik running the offensive show at the moment. And Pisarcik straight back. Fires down the middle. He has number 83. Rodney Parker, and Pisarcik fires a strike. 1st down, Philadelphia.
Rodney Parker is in the game now because everybody else is nicked. People are hurt. Good pass blocking. The Bears faked the blitz, faked the 5-man front, and came out of it. Oh, what a pressurized catch. Ellis was right there.
And a good throw from Pisarcik as Vermeil.
First catch of the year.
Welcomes Rodney Parker. And Pisarcik. And a backup role for Jaworski. Doing well at the moment. 1st down, Philadelphia. At the Bear 29. Here's Leroy Harris. Slips down at about the 24. Hampton makes sure he stays down.
This Coach Vermeil, you know what time he went to bed on Monday night after they beat Dallas on Sunday? 5 a.m. the next morning. He says if I can pick up one play in those late hours, watching the thing that can win a game, it's worth it. And he's a great family guy. It's not easy for him to do.
I'm going to ask you if he was celebrating or studying.
Just studying.
One of the hardest workers anywhere. Dick Vermeil done some job with this Eagle team. 2nd and 9. And again, it's a running play to Giamona. And he barrels down inside the 20 to about the 18. Hampton on the stop. His uncle, Dick Vermeil, the head coach.
The owner, Mr. Toes, sent over an expensive case of champagne after the Dallas win. And Vermeil said, I'm used to Napa Valley Red, where everybody around the table has red lips and red teeth.
Gonna keep our eyes now on Harold Carmichael. Doug Plank is back in a Bear defensive setup. And now Pisarcik has decided that he wants a timeout, and that means the Eagles only have 1 left now. The score tied at 14. They're tied in Kansas City. We're tied in Philadelphia at 14 apiece. Joe Pisarcik is the Eagle quarterback because Ron Jaworski took a tremendous hit from Mike Hartenstein in the second quarter.
You anticipate sort of a double on Carmichael, and perhaps Crepley, the tight end, might be open in a situation like this.
Crepley's number 84. Line up on the left side. There's Carmichael.
Wow.
Simply thrown a little too hard, even for those big hands of Carmichael.
And solo coverage by Terry Schmidt. The call was right. The throw was too hard and too high, even for Harold.
Here is how Jaworski got hurt. Keep in mind, this took place in the second quarter now. And watch number 73. Jaworski is number 7, of course, and you'll see 73 enter your picture in just a second.
Mike Hartenstein. And Jaworski came back from that and played the third period, got close to the goal line and had to leave again if Pisarcik is in. Now Franklin's in.
And Tony Franklin from 36 yards out. With John Shira holding.
He's 5 of 9 this year.
Franklin hits. It's wide right. He missed to the right side. Tony Franklin leads the score. Tied at 14 apiece. So replacing Wilbert Montgomery, Louis Giamona, 15 carries, 73 yards. That's for the Eagles, of course. Walter Payton for the Bears, 15 rushes, 74 yards.
And we're all tied.
14 apiece. Ben Simmons gets back to Payton. And Payton hurdles outside the 20 to about the 27. Didn't look like much, but he got about 8.
Patrick, I was looking at figures on Walter Payton, and you can look at stats all day and they mean nothing. But in his 6th year now, he's had 190 10-yard runs. That only speaks for 10-yard blasts. I'm talking about durability to keep making 10-yard runs, because that's a sudden stop at the end of those babies.
And how many 100-yard games? 38?
38.
In 6 years, that is. On second down, it's Harper with Payton blocking, and Harper does not get back to the markers that would give the Bears a first down, so it'll be 3rd and about 2. Harper only got a couple.
With
Berge and LeMaster.
Carl Hairston and Big Robin Earl, the tight end, had a tremendous standoff to the left. You may not be able to see it, but it's the kind of thing that's made pro football so exciting. It's a ripper to the left of your screen, and I mean they've torn each other up. Now you'll see it.
Earl is number 81.
I'm sorry, that was on Jerry Robinson, the linebacker.
And Harper got it down to where they need only 1 for a first. Clock running with 8:10 left in the game. Harper and Payton behind Evans. And it'll be Payton with the try, and he won't make it. Carl Hairston led the defense for Philadelphia.
Before the game, Carl Hairston said that Albrecht is a very good tackle, but he is not oversized. He only weighs 2 feet or so. He said he thought if he could muscle him a little bit, he might be able to play the line of scrimmage. This time he had to. What an effort by 78.
And Bob Parsons comes in to punt for the Bears. John Shira goes back deep for Philadelphia. Remember that Camfield and Henry both got hurt. That's Shira, number 21, who can do everything.
He's got the good hands.
Line drive kick from Parsons. Chases Shira back to about the 25 where he circles and cuts upfield to just shy of the 30. Muckensturm is the first man down for Chicago. 37-yard punt by Parsons. 7:38 left on the scoreboard clock of the game, and the score tied at 14 apiece.
This is killing me. What a game.
Tonight on CBS, we're running a little bit long here in Philadelphia. Joe Pisarcik still the Eagle quarterback. He throws back to Giamona. He's looking for an option pass. Throws it to Crepley, and he's got it. Perfect strike from Louis Giamona to the 45-yard line in Bear territory. Fensick made the tackle.
What a perfect call. I think Sid Gilman, who's up in the booth next to us, probably called this down. It looks like a run-oriented thing. Good fake by Giamona, but he didn't wait too late to get the ball on the way. Crepley is an incredibly sound player. He'll be there every time where he's supposed to be.
A 27-yard pickup. And here's the defense for Chicago.
They got to play the run first. Your responsibility, you see Hampton playing the run. Giamona took about 2 or 3 steps and got it on the way.
First down, Eagles. At the near 44. Pisarcik goes up again. And completes it again. What a diving catch again by Krepley. Muckenstern. And they're in field goal range again for Franklin.
And remember that Krepley broke all of his ribs in a preseason game catching a touchdown against New England. He came back, beat out Spagnola again, and make sure. Good throw.
He broke all of his ribs?
Now he broke 3 or 4 on one side. I don't know if maybe it was 1 on each side. I'm not sure.
First down, Philadelphia. At the 28. Pisarcik gives to Giamona. And he fights his way inside the 25 to about the 24 before Hicks brings him down.
You have to understand how football players feel. They love this kind of a situation. The Bears defensive team, too. It is reach back time. And if you're a football player and you like it the way these people do, and you're professional, this is what you come to play for.
Clock running with 5:40 left to play in this contest, and the score tied at 14-14. The Eagles with the ball. The Bear 24. Pisarcik. Long count. Giamona again. Hit down by Osborne and Muckenstern.
A minute ago, I saw Charlie Johnson lead the defense for the Eagles, so he's back in. Osborne's been hurt, and he's back in.
Neil Armstrong with the headphones talking to his assistants up.
From Tishomingo, Oklahoma. There ain't too many people in that town, but they got to be watching right now, and this guy has done some job in Chicago.
And Chuck Bednarik.
Don't get him mad. Don't get him mad.
It'll be third down and 4 at the 22, and Leroy Harris barrels down. He may have the first. Harris straight ahead. And he is very near a first down for Philadelphia.
Now, what's the total effort by people on both sides of the line of scrimmage? Watch the defensive players go after the ball carrier, and watch the offensive guys stay with their blocks and try to drive the whole thing ahead.
That roar will tell you that it is a first down for the Eagles. Driving from the 18-yard line.
With Joe Pisarcik, you don't think he's happy to be out of the Meadowlands, do you?
He's happy to be playing with a winner. First down at the 17. Still Harris and Giamona. And it's Harris, the running back, for a yard perhaps before Gary Campbell drags him down.
Even those legs couldn't keep him up. So many people had him around the neck that Harris finally folded on it.
He struggled for perhaps a yard, maybe 2. They're calling it 2nd and 9 at the 16. And the score is tied at 14-all. Harris goes about 225.
Remember, those plays are being wigwagged in. It's just like the Baseball World Series. There's a lot of flagging going on.
Clock running 3:40. Score tied 14-all. Page almost jumped, got back. Pisarcik fires. Penalty marker down again. Alan Ellis on the defense. Bears are saying it should be called. The pass was intended for Charlie Smith. Bears are saying it should be called against Philadelphia.
It's going to be called on the Bears.
It's on the Bear.
Charlie Smith comes out of this coming across the middle, left to right. It's going to be an interference call. The ball moves to the 1-yard line. I told you, if you're a defensive back, nobody cares how tough it is, baby. There's nobody to help you there.
Those of you who watched Kansas City defeat Detroit 20-17, you're now looking at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier, where the score here is 14-14. Wilbert Montgomery has not played at all.
He's got to be ready for the stretch run. He's had about 3 injuries in a row.
Courageous effort by the Eagles as Jaworski and Montgomery both are out. Sargent gets to Giamona. And Louis does not quite get in. Dan Hampton wrapped him up with help from Tom Hicks.
Tell you one thing, the scooter hadn't gone. He was heading for the goal line and came awfully close. You're on the line of scrimmage, folks. Peoples pulls out, and Jamola doesn't even worry about that. He cuts inside. Most direct route. Oh, look at Hampton. Strength is not my weakness. I would have to agree.
Giamona would testify. About a half yard short. Clock running, 3:12 now. 3:10 left play. Eagles, second and goal. At the 1. Pisarcik tries to sneak it in. They will unstack as Pisarcik comes flying out of the pile, slung backwards by the Bear defenders.
Remember, the Bears have only given up 4 touchdowns rushing coming in 2. If you get down this close and try to mug them, you've got to fight on whack or drive.
They have given up 2 today, both passing. One from Jaworski to Campfield, the other from Jaworski to Giamona. That's how much they need. You look right down the line. Third and goal, the ball at the 1. Timeout for some sort of a disturbance. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like there's some glare coming from a little utility vehicle down at the other end.
You know, time rolls along and everything changes, but football doesn't. It always gets down to that 1-foot line with a goal line stand or something, right?
And the clock running out. Pisarcik then on third down from about a foot away. Giamona. And he didn't make it. Got a field goal now.
Oh, but gosh, a field goal. Tony Franklin is not kicking well. He had his head down when he left the field. Pretty good-looking hole, and I'll tell you, Terry Schmidt filled it on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Courageous stand and a very effective one by that Bear defense. Clock is running. 2:23, 2:20 left to play.
Now, Tony Franklin has been in that box I told you about, the physical isolation booth,
Yeah.
relaxing.
Boy, he is isolated right now.
He better make this one or they'll put him in there again.
Franklin with Shira holding. It is, yes, sir. Franklin with what amounted to less than an extra point. Gives the Eagles the lead 17-14 with just over 2 minutes left to play.
Tony Franklin just started breathing again.
He was thinking about going in that tub.
And closing the lid.
I know the feeling.
Wow, what a ball game. We're only at mid-season, you know it?
This is halfway.
I may not get a letter sweater this year. I may not make it.
You've been home the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
So with 2 minutes, 2 seconds left to play, Tony Franklin, look at Dick Vermeil.
He's not doing any celebrating. He knows how long this 2 minutes will be.
Especially when you've got a guy like Vince Evans who can throw that thing a length of the field. Chicago has all 3 of their timeouts left. The Eagles have just 1.
And you know, that Central Division is so upside down right now. These Bears are going to be somewhere in a playoff. They got to be able to recover from this. This is a hell of a football team.
Louis Giamona over on the sideline. You look at the standings. Detroit lost today. They're 5-3. Chicago 3-4. Minnesota 3-4. Depending on what happens, Minnesota's already lost to Green Bay. So the pack will move up. And the Bears decide not to bring it out. Now it's Dave Williams who hesitated momentarily. Looks like Tampa Bay is going to improve its record to 3-4-1. So who knows what's going to happen before this is over. Just about 20 yards out is all.
The Bears have Cleveland next week. And the Eagles go against Seattle up there in the Pacific Northwest with Patera in that group.
Here is a final score. Houston advances 23-3 over Cincinnati. Earl Campbell had a big Tony Franklin. underneath that cape with some of his confidence back after missing earlier and hitting that one. 17-14 as Earl comes in motion. Outside, the ball goes to James Scott, knocked out of bounds by LeMaster.
Is it the strangest start you ever saw of a play? I thought there was illegal procedure on both sides or something.
Looked like it.
Funny looking snap. Everybody looked around a minute and then went after it. I would try to get the ball to Walter Payton, perhaps, in the best position, which would be maybe a screen or something. But I would imagine Vermeil and company are thinking about what might happen.
Ricky Watts comes in. Vashnagel goes out. Funny things happening around the NFL on this, the 8th Sunday. Halfway through. It'll be a great second half. Robin Earl wide open. Knocked out of bounds by John Bunting at the 45. First down, Chicago. Not over yet. Vashnagel in conference with Neil Armstrong. The Bears down by 3.
They've got to get inside the 40 for Thomas. That would be my own assumption. You're the kicker, so correct me when I'm wrong. Wouldn't you say so?
I'd say so, yes. It's hard to tell what the wind's doing. Blowing up around 16 miles an hour, but that's up on top of the stadium. Sort of swirling down the stadium floor. First down at the 40 for the Bears with Vince Evans back to throw. Scott has it. A legal catch.
Scott is the only outside receiver to catch a football from Vince Evans. That's now his 3rd catch. And this one was under pressure and right on the money. Man, can this kid load it up. Darn, is he a good thrower.
Look at the way he holds the ball. Very much like Bradshaw. He puts his index finger over the end of the ball.
Gets so much impetus from that, right? He really can fire.
Fires, yep.
Wait till he learns about defenses and stuff like that.
Well, he's effective enough as it is. They're at the 50-yard line, second and about a foot. As Vince Evans watches the clock. It's stopped now with 1:35. Out to Payton. Noah Jackson with a block out in front. Payton is loose. Payton has the Bear first down. He is tackled inside in Eagle territory by Robinson.
Boy, what a recovery job by the Eagles. That's the one thing that I imagine Dick Vermeil's headset just blew off his head. You don't want to get number 34 out somewhere where he can pick his own route. And it's exactly what happened. Watch him come back and weave through this maze. This is rush hour traffic. Watch this. Now suddenly green shirts start showing up. I don't know where they came from. It's Logan and Jerry Robinson right from behind.
Those of you who watched Tampa Bay beat San Francisco 24-23 on that field goal by Garo Yepremian. Welcome to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier. The Eagles lead the Bears 17-14 with 1 minute and 13 seconds left to play. You will see all of this tonight here on CBS in its entirety. 60 minutes. Father figure, Alice and the Jeffersons.
How's Alice hanging in there, all right?
I think she's looking for a father figure. That is Bob Thomas. The score is 17-14. Tony Franklin, the Eagles kicker, has just put Philadelphia ahead just moments ago. And now it could fall on the shoulders of Bob Thomas to tie it up, and we would go into overtime.
Now he's been at Notre Dame. There's no more pressure on a collegiate football player than being a kicker at Notre Dame under the Golden Dome. But nothing like this.
Neil Armstrong getting the information on what the play should be and sending it in with Vince Evans and Robin Earl and Walter Payton. It is first down Eagles. First down Bears, I beg your pardon, at the Eagle 47.
Roland Harper goes out.
Evans has completed now 4 straight passes. He's now 9 out of 16 on the day. He has the 2 tight ends lined up on the flanks. He has good protection. And now Evans gets back for a yard or 2, no more. They got to call a timeout now. Claude Humphrey tripped him up.
Good play, though, because actually Herm Edwards had number 89, Jimmy Scott, covered up the field. You don't want to give away your chance. And a young quarterback put it away. Boy, he's learning in a hurry.
They do a hurry up. They don't call a timeout. They have 2 left. Evans brings him up. Scott off to the left. Bashnagel out to the right. 40 seconds left to play. Evans. Robin Earl has it. They're in range now for Bob Thomas. And now they'll take a timeout.
What a catch. Robin Earl had trouble getting off the line of scrimmage. He had a heck of a time getting rid of the linebackers and still made the catch. What a throw by number 8. The fake to Peyton. Peyton will set up, drift through in case he needs a safety valve. Look at this throw. A quick release and a great grab.
Randy Logan on the defense takes down the big tree, Robin Earl. The Bears call the timeout. They have one more. A superb football game. Executive producer of the NFL on CBS, Charles Chuck Milton III.
He's killing us with these good games, though. You know what? I can't take it.
And Perry Smith always comes up with a good one. The director, you don't ever get a better effort than you get from Tony Vernon. Thank you, Joan Vitrano, and all the rest of you.
And we all care. It's really fun.
Line of scrimmage, then, the 32-yard line in Eagle territory. See, that would make it a 49-yard effort if they don't get any more for Bob Thomas. And with the wind blowing like it is, that's no bargain.
All right, he's made a 42. He's made a 44. He's missed a 38 and a 32. He's got the range. If he's got the stroke today, he can tie this baby.
There are 27 seconds left on the scoreboard clock. 60 minutes will be coming up right after football, and you'll see all of it.
How many timeouts do the Bears have?
One more.
It's going to be a big one. That'll stop it so they can at least get the shot at it.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with this play. A sideline to stop it. They still got that timeout, so if they do have to throw it down the middle to the tight end or whatever the case might be, they can still stop that clock. The one thing you don't want now is the interception. As Peyton throws back across the field to Evans. Evans is going to take off and run with it. And does. They had a man wide open in the end zone.
Jimmy
James Scott was wide open.
He was wide open. He was doing the side straddle hop. But what Vince wanted to do was perhaps get it out of bounds deeper, a little deeper inside, and stop the clock.
And now they got it down to the 26-yard line. So it would be 43 yards. Here's the play again. Peyton throwing all the way back across the field.
And Clark almost had him, the defensive nose guard. You could just see that Jimmy Scott was going for the flag and was open.
It's just as well they didn't throw it because they had illegal linemen downfield.
Good point. I wonder if Vince knew that.
I doubt it. But you can see that the offensive lineman downfield. Here is Evans. Chased and sacked by Ken Clark. And those could turn out to be very valuable yards as they'll have to field goal it now with 14 seconds left to play.
Clark is a very short, quick 260-pounder. That's a great pass rusher. And how he beat Neal and either Noah Jackson or I just don't know.
And the Bears, with 14 seconds left to play, have used their last timeout as Vince Evans heads over to talk to Neil Armstrong. And Bob Thomas might wish for that same tub we were talking about for Tony Franklin.
All right, it would be what, from the 40, it'd be a 46-yard field goal?
47, I guess.
47?
Yeah. They usually get back 7 yards from the center. The ball's right at the 30. So 47 yards out it would be. Bob Thomas is up and appears to be ready.
How far do you go before you lose the chance? Now, if you're trying to win it, that's one thing, but you got to get what you can.
It's 14 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock. Eagles leading 17-14. The Bears with the football on third down, and Evans comes back, no Thomas. So they're going to try to get one more play off.
And no timeouts?
And no timeouts.
That's the one that would bother me a little bit. Bashnagel, by the way, is the holder, and he just left the field.
This is risky business. You got to throw that thing high or close to the sideline to get in closer. And make sure you get the clock stopped. The one thing you don't want now is a sack. A lot of things you don't want. Here they come. to play.
Boy, what a time to shoot somebody and send him up the gap.
Where did he come from?
The only good thing about it for the Bears was that the incomplete pass did stop the clock. And he threw it into no man's land.
That was a place for it. And so it now rests on the shoulders of Brian Basnigle, the holder. And Bob Thomas, the kicker. Paul Tabor is the center. Basnigle from 47 yards out. That won't get there. No good. Nowhere close. And the Eagles will finish the first half of the season with a 7-1 record. Courageous effort by the Chicago Bears. Bob Thomas.
He never got the foot on it, did he, Patrick?
Never really stroked it. Never had a chance. Off to the left and short. The Eagles took a tremendous physical beating today. And they've got a tough second half of the schedule ahead of them. So do the Bears. Their record drops to 3-5 as Neil Armstrong continues. The game is not over yet, but it is for all intents and purposes.
Did you see Big Dennis Lick, though, put his arm around Thomas like, don't worry about it? Tell you one thing, boy, there's nothing like this. That's the closest you'll ever be with another guy.
There is no way you can not worry about it. It'll be a long night. A long trip back to Chicago. The Eagles 17. The Chicago Bears 14. The Eagles own the best record in football. Philadelphia over the Bears 17-14.